Unusual Laws in the Philippines, a Guide for Visitors. The Philippines, a nation steeped in rich cultural traditions and history, possesses a legal system with some unique and unusual laws. Understanding these laws can help visitors navigate the local environment and avoid unintentional legal issues. Here we delve into several unusual laws that visitors to the Philippines should be aware of, providing a comprehensive overview of their implications, penalties, and historical origins. 1. Unjust Vexation. Historical origins and implications. The law of unjust vexation, found in Article 287 of the Revised Penal Code, is a broad and somewhat vague provision that criminalizes actions that annoy or irritate others. This law has its roots in the Spanish colonial period, where certain behaviors were penalized to maintain public order. The term unjust vexation is not clearly defined, making it a catch-all provision for acts not specifically criminalized by other laws. Penalties. The penalty for unjust vexation can range from imprisonment for 1 day to 30 days, or a fine of up to 200 pesos. This law has been used in various cases, such as when individuals were prosecuted for threatening behavior or causing public disturbance. Modern relevance. While the law might seem trivial, it underscores the importance of maintaining respectful interactions with locals. Visitors should be mindful of their behavior, especially in public spaces, to avoid inadvertently annoying someone and facing legal consequences. 2. Offending religious feelings. Historical origins. The law against offending religious feelings is enshrined in Article 133 of the Revised Penal Code, which dates back to 1930. This provision reflects the Philippines' deep-rooted Catholic heritage and the influence of Spanish colonial rule, which emphasized the protection of religious sentiments. Penalties. Violators of this law can face arresto mayor, which means imprisonment from 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. The law is applied when acts are committed in places of worship or during religious ceremonies that are considered notoriously offensive to the faithful. Notable cases. Several cases have highlighted the application of this law, including the conviction of Carlos Celdran in 2010 for protesting against the Catholic Church's stance on the reproductive health bill during an ecumenical service. Modern relevance. This law highlights the importance of respecting religious practices and spaces in the Philippines. Visitors should exercise caution and sensitivity when discussing or engaging with religious topics to avoid offending locals and potentially facing legal repercussions. 3. Election tiebreakers, tossing a coin, historical origins. The practice of using a coin toss to break election ties is rooted in the Omnibus Election Code, which allows for ties to be resolved by drawing lots or similar methods. This pragmatic approach reflects the Philippines' colonial history, where practical solutions were often employed to address administrative challenges. Modern application. This method was notably used in a 2019 mayoral election in Palawan, where a coin toss decided the winner after a tie in votes. While this law may appear whimsical, it reflects the country's pragmatic approach to resolving electoral deadlocks. Modern relevance. Visitors interested in the political landscape of the Philippines might find this aspect of the electoral process both fascinating and peculiar. It underscores the importance of understanding local customs and legal practices when engaging with political or civic activities. 4. Family immunity from criminal liability. Historical origins. The concept of family immunity from criminal liability is rooted in traditional Filipino values that emphasize family unity and harmony. Article 332 of the Revised Penal Code exempts family members from criminal liability for certain offenses, such as theft or swindling, committed against each other. This provision reflects the influence of Spanish colonial law, which often prioritized familial relationships over individual legal accountability. Modern relevance. This legal provision might surprise visitors, as it contrasts with the legal systems in many other countries where family members can be held criminally liable for such offenses. Understanding this law can provide insight into the cultural importance of family in the Philippines. 5. Marriage extinguishes criminal liability of rape. Historical origins. This provision is part of Republic Act 8353, the anti-rape law of 1997, which allows the subsequent marriage between the offender and the victim to extinguish the criminal action or penalty imposed. This law is rooted in a Spanish-era provision that aimed to preserve family unity by allowing marriage to absolve certain crimes like seduction, abduction, and rape. Modern relevance. This law can be particularly shocking to visitors as it contradicts modern views on justice and victims' rights. It highlights the complex interplay between traditional values and contemporary legal standards in the Philippines. 6. Excessive penalties for libel. Historical origins. The Philippines' libel laws trace back to the Spanish colonial period, where defamation was heavily penalized to protect the government and maintain public order. The American colonial period further shaped these laws, incorporating elements of both Spanish and American legal traditions. Penalties. Libel is punishable by imprisonment or a hefty fine, and the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 extended these penalties to online libel. This has led to concerns about freedom of expression and the potential for abuse by public officials. Modern relevance. Visitors, especially those active on social media, should be cautious about making defamatory statements online, as they could face severe penalties under Philippine law. 7. Restrictions on widows remarrying historical origins. Historically, widows in the Philippines were prohibited from remarrying within 301 days of their husband's death. This law, found in Article 351 of the Revised Penal Code, was intended to prevent disputes over paternity in cases where the widow might be pregnant. Although this law was repealed in 2015, it serves as an example of the outdated and gender-biased legal provisions that have existed in the country. Modern relevance. The repeal of this law reflects changing attitudes towards gender equality and the influence of modern medical advancements, which can more accurately determine paternity. Conclusion. These unusual laws in the Philippines reflect the country's unique cultural and social values shaped by centuries. For visitors, being aware of these laws can help ensure a respectful and trouble-free stay. Whether it's avoiding unjust vexation, respecting religious sentiments, understanding the quirky election tiebreaker process, or recognizing the legal nuances of family immunity, a little knowledge goes a long way in navigating the legal landscape of this vibrant nation. By understanding these laws, visitors can appreciate the cultural context and historical influences that shape the legal system in the Philippines. Thanks everyone. Please like and subscribe to help my channel.